Hey, Mike here from Showboys. We're excited to bring you Showboys Gaming, a YouTube channel created for you to enjoy our exclusive gaming content. Anything from live streams to gaming videos will be found here. Go subscribe now so you don't miss out on any Showboys gaming content.
Hi, I'm Becca.
And I'm Mike.
And we're the Courtneys.
We're the hosts of a new marriage and relationship centered podcast called Couple Conversations. We're not here to give marriage or relationship advice, but instead we're just going to have some honest and thought-provoking conversations about our relationship.
After 10 years of marriage and the chaos of parenting, business ownership, and being content creators, we thought it was important to focus on dating each other and keep the spark alive in our marriage so when we're old and wrinkly, we still enjoy each other's company.
Each week we'll be going through a series of questions to have honest conversations about our relationship, as well as occasionally be joined by other couples to hear their stories and advice. We just want to share the things that we've learned along our journey and remind you all to continue to date your spouse.
So join us every other Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, beginning October 8th. And join the conversation.
Hey, Nick from Showboys here, and I want to invite you to become a member of the Showboys Discord. Our Discord is the one-stop shop for all things Showboys, from announcements to fun conversations, and of course, memes. Come get to know the Showboys staff and our growing community of pop culture fanatics. We have something for just about anyone.
Hey, Mike from Showboys here, and I wanted to let you know about the Showboys merch shop. Go check out our classic collection featuring our classic Showboys logo. You'll find a variety of products ranging from phone cases to tumblers and coffee mugs, and of course, t-shirts and hoodies. Head over to linktr.ee/showboyspodcast for the link to the shop. So what are you waiting for? Head over to the Showboys merch shop, help support the podcast, and grab yourself some Showboys swag.
Hi, my name is Civ, and I'm a proud partner of the Showboys stream team. I'm what you call a variety streamer. What that means is I play a bunch of different styles of games, from platformers and shooters to fighters and survival horror. We rarely play the same games twice, and it's normally a game I don't know anything about. What this means for you is fresh and interesting content, live on the regular. And if you're the kind of person who prefers to watch at their leisure, we have a YouTube channel where we upload content daily. I mean, with so many options, why haven't you joined the civilization yet?
What's up, guys? Chad from Showboys. Just wanted to remind you that we have officially launched our Patreon. Head over to Patreon and check out the exclusive content offered for each tier. From the ability to recommend a topic for the show, exclusive Patreon-only episodes, the chance to appear on an episode as a guest, and much more. With tiers starting at only $1 a month, you can help support our growing community and help us continue to bring our amazing content directly to your lovely little ears.
welcome to Showboys. My name's Mike, joined with my good friend Pixel Nick. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great. I feel elevated. I should appear elevated. I was wondering why I'm so low all the time, and I realized that I just simply have my chair really low, and I was like, "Can I go higher?"
You got a booster seat.
So, yeah, I feel like this is a better elevation,
Nice.
especially for podcasting. I'm eye level with my monitors now. This is, I don't know, it's a new perspective on life.
I like it. I like the new you. Thursday night, man. I feel like we've just been podcasting like crazy the last week.
It was a heavy holiday weekend of podcasting. I don't know how that happened. It just kind of happened. We squeaked out an extra numbered episode on everyone. So if you haven't seen us since last Thursday, we've actually advanced 2 episodes in our episode count to number 91.
You've done a very great job of avoiding Showboys content if you haven't seen us since last Thursday, because we had an episode Sunday night, Monday night, stream Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and here we are Thursday. It's been going crazy. And Underfunded says Nick's raising the bar.
Showboys Gaming channel has also been popping off lately. Lots going on over there. Chad just released like 2 hours ago, fresh off the press, his recap and feelings on the PlayStation State of Play.
Yeah, and he seemed pretty excited.
I know, he was just texting us like every 2 minutes, and my phone was just vibrating. And I'm glad he decided just to like make a video, because that was gonna be my next suggestion. Like, Chad, just go live.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't text us real time about it. Just go live.
Yeah, I'm excited to check out the video. Been busy. My parents came over for dinner tonight, so been busy in the podcast world and just regular life world, lately, ever since summer started.
It's the weather, man.
Yeah.
Stuff to do.
Yep. Speaking of, we're doing a podcast tonight. We're going to be talking about The Boys. Season 3 kicks off tomorrow, I believe. Maybe tonight.
Might be tonight. I already saw some like reaction videos get posted. And there might be 3 episodes out at once.
Yeah. That would be pretty gnarly. But yeah, one of our favorite shows on the podcast, I would venture to say. I feel like it's been a long time since season 2. Was there like a COVID year gap?
Season 2 came out September and October 2020.
Yeah. Okay.
So year and a half.
We had the pandemic year off, and now we're back with season 3. It feels like it's been so much longer. So tonight we're gonna maybe bring you guys up to speed, bring ourselves up to speed to where we left off on season 2, and then we'll watch the trailer for season 3 and talk about what we're looking forward to. Get hyped. Jordan should be joining us at some point tonight to bring his comic expertise into the fold, since The Boys is based off a comic series of the same name written by the one and only Garth Ennis. So yeah, excited to talk about that. Before we get into anything else, got to shout out the patrons. Thank you, Tim B and Yusuf H, for being top tier patrons. You guys rule. Without your support, we would be, much less financially secure as a podcast. That was terrible. I was trying to think of something funny, and nothing funny came to mind. But thank you guys so much for your support. It means the world. All of our other patrons, we love you just as much. Just don't tell Tim or Yusuf. But thank you guys for your support. It really does help. Helps us cover costs on the back end and help us continue to produce the best quality content we can for you guys. If you are interested in how to support us on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/showboyspodcast. Check out what we have to offer. It is a monthly subscription basically to the Showboys, and you get there are 4 different price points, starting as low as $1, going as high as $10. And each tier there has different perks and rewards and benefits, including, but not limited to, monthly Patreon only episodes that we do.
Those
So
are fun.
They are fun. We bring in friends, children, even. Chad had a couple really good ones with his son Brady, who's a natural, might I say.
Loves the anime.
He is.
Just absorbs that stuff.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
on him, though.
So yeah, go check it out. We would appreciate the support. And if you're not in a spot to be able to do that, we're just glad you're here watching. Just ask that maybe if you like what you hear tonight, you subscribe here on the Showboys Podcast YouTube channel and head over to our Showboys Gaming YouTube channel and go ahead and subscribe over there. But now we got that out of the way. There was, a little thing we had to vent about here at the top of the episode. What is that, Nick? What are we venting about?
We were venting about how sad you are these days.
Yeah.
We were venting about Jordan's timeliness.
Yeah. No, there was something specific related to shows and stuff you wanted to talk about before we got into the boys. But we can also talk about those things.
No, okay. No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Jordan, see, he double booked himself like a goofball. And, probably a week after we asked him to come on tonight, he was like, oh, crap. I forgot. I bought tickets to see Top Gun Thursday night. I should be able to be on around 9:30. So we'll see.
He should just not schedule things on Thursday nights.
Yeah, what is he thinking?
It's not even the premiere of that movie. That came out like last week or something.
Yeah, and Thursday's not even like $5 movie night at Cinemark. That's Tuesday.
If he's gonna do that, he could just have a Showboys branded movie centric podcast.
I'm cool with that.
But we're just gonna park that there for later.
Chad, as you may notice, is not with us tonight. May his soul rest in peace. No, he's not a fan of the boys. Hopefully he's a fan of these boys, but not like the show The Boys. So he felt that he wouldn't have anything to offer to the episode tonight. Though we usually disagree with that. I think he would have made a fine addition to the cast tonight, but
as always.
He's probably too excited about the state of play right now.
Yeah. So was he excited about a Resident Evil 4 remake?
Yep.
Okay.
That's the next one in line to get the remake treatment.
That was the highlight. That's pretty low.
He posted a crap load of links in our Discord.
Shout out.
There, Resident Evil 4, the Callisto Protocol, which is a cool survival horror game. Fantasy. I almost said Fantasy Final. Final Fantasy.
Fantasy football.
Street Fighter 6 and Horizon Call of the Mountain, which looks to be some DLC, and then Eternites, which never heard of that. Makes me think of termites.
Yeah. Eternal termites.
Homeowner's worst nightmare.
I do know what you were trying to reference. We're venting about this kind of throughout the week, and maybe the past like few weeks. There is just so much to watch in general because Star Wars is in full swing. They're coming out very early. Marvel obviously is in full swing with both shows and movies. I'm very behind on the movies already. I think they're coming out with those too fast. 1 or 2 a year would be nice. It looks like they're on pace for like 4 movies a year. I don't like that. And generally just everything else seems to be ramping up too. And on top of that, we ad hocishly committed to
An
watch
11-year-old show.
11-year-old show called Game of Thrones. It's Chad's 10th rewatch. I'm on my second. Mike's on his first. And we have just enough time to watch an episode every 2 weeks for the rest of the summer until August 21st when House of Dragon comes out.
Yes. Watch a
So
season, not an episode. We cover a season
season.
every 2 weeks.
yeah, so if there wasn't enough new stuff to watch, we packed in one of the greatest shows of all time in the midst of all of that. So I
Mhm.
don't know. I definitely am happy with that decision, but it's causing some ramifications amongst the other things. And
Yeah.
and the other thing that happens on top of all that. So you have all that happen, and then we're like, oh yeah, Stranger Things. So the Stranger Things is like, hey, we're gonna do our thing finally after like 2 years,
Yeah.
right? Huge pandemic hiatus. So they're like, we're gonna do a 2-part season 4, but we're gonna give you like 8 episodes in part 1, all well over an hour long, mind you, right? So that's 2 seasons in itself, I would say. And then, in July, like I don't know if I'm gonna finish it by July when the hour and a half and then 2.5 hour final 2 episodes come out. So I really don't know
Yeah.
how I'm going to be outside in Ohio in nice weather and also watch all this stuff.
Yeah. It's either like have a real life or have no sleep life.
Something must be sacrificed.
Yes.
And then obviously we want to podcast about all this stuff, but then we're like, we can't podcast more nights because that's less nights to watch stuff.
Right. Yeah.
So
This isn't even accounting for any gaming.
yeah, our formula here is not very scalable.
Yeah, and we definitely didn't do ourselves any favors looking at the upcoming like release schedule of shows.
It was
When
so
we
well planned out
decided-
though.
Okay, well that's true. I blame this all on Chad because we did have it. We did have things planned out for all these new releases, but then Chad just came with a great idea to watch an 8-season long series in the span of like a month and a half. Yeah.
Idea borderline command when it's
Yeah,
like we have to do this.
Yeah.
And I was totally like, yes, we do have to do this. And I was like, I'll go mess with the schedule and see how this can be done. And I was like, I think it can be done.
Yeah. We had
Plus
to
a
set-
few things. Atlanta died in the
Yeah,
process.
we have to reschedule an Atlanta review, which I think is okay. It made me sad at first, but that show is pretty deep. So I think that requires some time to marinate, and not rush through watching to really be able to have a good conversation about that show.
That's a good point. Marinate's a good word because that is not a show. After I watch an episode, I like kind of want to break
Mhm.
to like let it sit in and then watch another one the next time I kind of think about it.
Yeah.
Because by the time I get to the next one, I've thought about the other ones so much, and then
Yeah.
it definitely needs to marinate because it is very a lot of material there.
Yeah, and I think not to spin off into an Atlanta episode here, but
Ta-da!
I think one of the things I love about Atlanta this just popped in my head because we were talking about Valheim earlier today, and my big description, I think you use this a lot too, is like Valheim is as deep or as difficult like as you make it. So like it can be very surface level entertainment, but it could also be very deep and challenging as well if you make it. And I feel like that's the perfect way to describe Atlanta as a series. Like each episode can be like just very surface level, like good and entertaining, but it's also packed with so much like depth and meaning and symbolism and surrealism and things like that if you want to go deeper than just the surface level like entertainment value, there's so much there to like
the first season and a half were definitely a lot more entertaining, and I totally get why people thought it was a comedy because Donald Glover kind of like not complained, but he made a comment how like people think it's a comedy and like compare it with Dave. And obviously he thinks they're two very different shows, but
Mhm.
Dave tries to do the same thing. It's so weird. But Dave was a comedy, but starkly became not that.
Yeah.
Um excuse me. But Atlanta has this like weird slow progression into like very deep Afro surrealism.
Yeah. It's pretty great. But yeah, so that got pushed back. Actually, I think that's the only sacrifice we've had to make so far. But in terms
Stranger
of
Things is like
that's going to be
borderline.
really that's going to be a tough one to meet. But it's on the schedule and we have a guest, so it has to happen. um, but in a like personal watch times, like man, so I got access to HBO again. Shout out Mike, thanks, bro. So that means I have a new season of Barry to watch. Shoresy came out. I need to watch that. I need to finish like the second part of the finale of Ozark has been out for a while.
Shoresies on HBO.
No, Shoresy's on Hulu. I'm just going through all the things that I need to watch, not
Oh, okay.
tailored
Yeah,
to
dude,
just
you got to
HBO.
finish
But
Ozark, and we got to do an episode on that. That was crazy.
yeah. So Barry, Shoresy, Ozark. I was in the middle of watching Outer Ranges on Prime, and that show is really cool. I have like 3 episodes left of that. Who knows when I'll be able to get back to it. Got to find time to watch Stranger Things. Got to find time to watch The Boys. I still haven't, we just talked about Atlanta, but I still haven't finished the new season. I have like 3 or 4 episodes to go in there. There's just so many good shows coming out and not enough time to keep up with it. Oh, I haven't even started Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Haven't even touched that.
I think luckily, I mean, you have to remember a lot of these are okay sitting in the backlog. And you can't like force some of these into the watch routine because some of them are just meant to be watched in rapid succession.
Yeah. I think it'll be cool because I haven't done that with any of the new Star Wars shows. I haven't saved them to binge.
Right.
I've always watched them on release, so I think that'll be cool. I'm gonna like let Obi-Wan wrap up and then slam through that in like 2 or 3 nights.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 6 parts, I think.
Yeah.
That will be good to watch all at once. Though I'm watching it in succession as they come out, but
You would.
yeah. There's nothing else to watch.
Nope, nothing. Dude, though, got through the first episode of season 3 of GOAT. The GOAT of shows, GOAT, Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, the god.
Very excited.
How many episodes of season 3?
I don't know, probably 10 like all the other ones.
No. How many are you through?
Oh, I've only watched the first one, but it was
okay.
It was a good one. Setting up, putting into motion lots of things.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, all that on top of my gaming stuff is making life rather hectic.
I used to play Valheim. I mean, Chad's probably still very salty that I completely abandoned any attempt at a scheduled gaming summer year for me. I just completely he should know. I mean, now he knows. I think you knew that. Like, I can't commit to like playing video games.
Yeah.
Video games is very much like what feels right. And Valheim is right.
You've created some converts too.
Oh yeah.
Biosiv, a guy who, when I first described and tried to talk into playing Valheim, like, I don't know, when we first started playing, is on record somewhere. If you like go through his streams, like him saying like, I wouldn't like that game at all, but I think it would be fun to watch someone play it. I don't think I could play that game. It's just not my thing. The dude, like literally every day in Discord, Biosiv playing Valheim.
It's great.
For like 2 weeks straight.
Oh yeah.
He's the needle is in deep with that guy.
So good.
You guys convinced Joe, the kid Joe Cross, to buy it and install it, even though he hasn't opened it yet.
Let me find.
You guys convinced Twisted Vikings.
I know. He was like, "Yo, V Rising. What is it?"
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a great game, and I looked at some gameplay footage of it. It's a little different, I think, like the top-down, like Diablo look to it, and I think the base building's like single plane. It's different.
Mhm.
It's different, and I don't think they should be compared as games. Like, there's things about them that are the same, but they're two different games. So I wouldn't confuse the two. So I'm glad he picked it up because he was just like,
What do you say?
whatever.
Like 20 some hours in like 3 days or 2 days or something like that.
26 hours in like 2 days.
Yeah. It's easy to do, man. It's so easy to do. Next thing you know, you're just clearing a little grove of trees, and you look up and it's been 4 hours.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh crap, I was totally supposed to build a garage. And then you start that, you look up, it's been another 3 hours. And you're like, oh geez, it's already 3 in the morning. What have I done with my life?
Yeah. And I mean, for a long time, I mean, Civilization has always been like my most played game. Each iteration. Let me see. Where is 4?
Deflated Fro. What's up, Josh? He says Valheim is GOAT. Really is.
Yeah, it is.
Really
Civ 5.
is.
Civ 5, 530 hours. Civ 6, I mean, that's not a lot. 424, but I think Valheim is going to surpass them soon. Not soon, but it will. Because I've got 323 hours on Valheim.
Nice. Yeah, I've fallen off the Valheim bandwagon. Not out of like enjoyment, just out of time. It's the game I have the least amount of time for, because it's the game that sucks up the most amount of time.
Yeah, you've been heavy on the Switch.
I like it.
So many games you are playing. I just can't fathom like playing that many games.
It's just the portability. I think if I had a Steam Deck, like I actually really want a Steam Deck now.
Yeah.
Because
it might be a problem though.
That would be a definite problem. But it's just the portability of the Switch. I really love it in this phase of life I'm in. And lately, probably this week I started. It's might probably been a week, maybe 2, that I got Pokemon Infinity on my phone, and I've already somehow sunk, over 10 hours into that game. But it's just I just love being able to, like, I don't know, go sit out on the deck and play like 15 minutes of Infinity or something, or it's just being able to squeeze in 10, 20 minutes here and there, like wherever I'm at. It's key. But I do have quite a Switch saga for you guys. Nick and Chad have been following along via our text chain. And if you've been, tuning into my Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle stream, I've talked about it a few times. I bought South Park Fractured But Whole. And
Fractured Butthole.
Yeah, I don't want to say fractured butthole. It's fractured, butthole. Anyways, bought that 2 days ago on sale. It was like $14. I was like, sweet. I love Stick of Truth. That was really fun, though I didn't get a chance to beat it. It's right up there with that turn-based tactic style gameplay. I'm like, this would be great. I want to play through both of these again. It's still downloading. I bought it 2 days ago. It's at like, what did I say in the text for, like, just before we got
58%.
63%. It's been downloading for 2 days. That's one thing I do not like about the Switch.
But it's just yours.
Love it. Yeah, apparently it's just mine. Mine is, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it, but it's unfortunate. But anyways, we've been on here for a half hour now, and if Jordan was tuning in, he'd be so mad that we haven't even talked about our topic. And YouTube might actually get mad at us. They might take this video down for being misleading.
That was an error.
Deceptive.
They're sorry. That was an error.
That's what they all say.
Yep.
But yeah, so The Boys, great superhero TV show, Amazon Prime original series, based off a comic series of the same name called The Boys, written by Garth Ennis, who is also known for, several books, but he also wrote the comic series Preacher, which was also adapted for TV on AMC. When did Preacher come out? It's been a while. That show is probably like 3 or 4 years older than The Boys. Let me just confirm when it came out. This show, Preacher, came out in 2016. But if you've seen Preacher, have you seen Preacher?
I haven't. You've told me to watch it.
Oh, it's really good. Comics
Back in
crazy.
the office days, you used to recommend it on every wellness walk.
Show's crazy. I think it's on Hulu now. But yeah, that story, absolute like absurdity, insanity, like 0 to 100 miles an hour in like 2 seconds, just off the wall crazy. It's really hard to describe. Also, produced and adapted for TV by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. So that crew came over here and adapted The Boys for Amazon. Same team there with Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg, and Garth Ennis. And The Boys is a very similar style show. If you haven't seen it yet, you should. But it's just an absolutely off-the-wall, crazy, dark, brutal, funny show. Do you, want to say anything before we get into recapping just, seasons 1 and 2 to get up to speed? I was just going to recap them like real quick, like not go into too much detail.
Butcher, I just picture that being the main character of Preacher. Like that's just like that look. That's just who
Billy Butcher.
Yeah, Billy Butcher's just the main guy in Preacher. I think that would be really cool if that was the case, but he's not the same actor, right?
No. What the heck is his name? Dominic something or other. He was King Lorraine, whatever in the Warcraft movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he was also Dominic Cooper. He was also in Fast and Furious movie of sorts. Let's take a gander here at his IMDb page. Warcraft. No, he was Lane Wyrn. Why are Warcraft names so hard to say?
Dominic Cooper.
Interesting. I'm pretty sure he was in a Fast and Furious movie. Maybe I'm mistaken, but he was in Warcraft.
He kind of looks like the Abercrombie version of not War Machine, the Winter Soldier.
Oh, Sebastian Stan.
Yeah, this one picture
I
of him,
could
he
see
looks
that.
like Sebastian Stan.
Yeah,
I think it's the haircut.
He actually was in Captain America. He plays the young Howard Stark.
Really?
Yeah.
Super young Howard Stark.
It's funny you say that.
He didn't play young Howard Stark in the Avengers, did he?
Was young Howard Stark? Yeah, I mean he was.
In whichever one they go back in time, Endgame.
No, because that's like older Howard Stark.
Younger Howard Stark.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's the he's like the 20-year-old.
Yeah,
Howard Stark.
He's the exactly.
Yeah, gotcha.
OG. Great actor, and he's really good in Preacher as Jesse Custer. But yeah, same creative team adapted The Boys, and it's got a very similar feel and vibe as Preacher does. Just insert superheroes. But the main gist of The Boys is superheroes are celebrities and kind of giant scumbags. Well, I shouldn't say all superheroes, but pretty much all the ones that you see in the show, with the exception of, one or two, are just kind of power hungry giant turds. And they are all kind of managed and treated as celebrities. And one of the main companies that kind of does this is Vought Industries, and they have control or created this world's version of the Justice League called the Seven. But season 1, we get our main characters, Huey and Billy Butcher. They meet due to the death of Robin, who is Huey's girlfriend, who gets absolutely plastered by the superhero A-Train. Billy ends up recruiting Huey to help take down Homelander and the Seven. Huey ends up killing Translucent, who was an invisible superhero member of the Seven. Billy's real beef here, though, is with Homelander for raping and quote unquote killing Billy Butcher's wife, at least to Billy's knowledge. Turns out that Becca is her name, is actually not dead. She's well and alive, and the mother of Homelander's sexual abuse there. That's actually how season 1 ends. But also a few other storylines that go through there. Starlight is a new recruit to the Seven, and she's one of the true, pure-hearted, actual superheroes out there that wants to do good and help people with her gifts. The boys meet this feral soup girl that doesn't talk or anything, and they just kind of have her tag along in their party. The Deep, who is the Aquaman spinoff in this series, he gets kind of canceled in season 1 for sexual misconduct against Starlight, and he gets shipped off to Sandusky, Ohio, which is hilarious because I think they have a line in there of at least it's not Akron or something, and yeah. I literally cried on the couch because I hate Akron, and I was like, yes, at least it's not Akron. You're so right. The boys find out towards the end, and by the boys I mean Billy, Huey, and the crew. They find out that all soups are actually made in a lab by giving babies compound V. So there are no naturally born metahumans in this universe here. And then also towards the end of the season, Vought is granted access to the military, allowing superheroes to kind of serve. And this is kind of big trouble, giving Vought Industries and the soups access to the military branch of the government. That just sounds terrible. Season 2, the boys are wanted for the death of Stillwell, who is kind of the leader, basically the front face of Vought Industries. Homelander actually lasered her face off at the end of season 1. And Homelander and Stillwell's whole relationship is something that could be talked about for a length of time on itself, because it's really creepy. Becca, Billy Butcher's deceased wife, is actually alive, like we said, and she's we use this term loosely, living in a secure Vought compound. She's basically a prisoner there, raising her son, who was conceived of the rape by Homelander, which is a big ouchie. Billy goes to rescue her once he finds out in the post-credit scene of season 1 that she's alive and living there with the son. He goes back to try to rescue her, and she doesn't want to come with him because Billy's not really a fan of the child, since he's Homelander's child and he's the soup, and Becca won't leave without her child, so she ends up staying. Starlight, she leaks the Compound V discovery to the media, putting Vought under some pressure and really looking bad in the spotlight. The Seven end up finding, no, not the Seven. The boys end up finding Lamplighter, who was a former member of the Seven, and Huey convinces him to help free Starlight from the Vought compound. Stormfront, a new superhero, joins the Seven, and she is just like some crazy ageless Nazi. Literally, she's a Nazi, and literally, she's ageless. She has some weird, crazy, like romance with Homelander, and things get crazy there. The Deep, he off in Sandusky here, he becomes part of a cult called the Church of the Collective. And I love their whole shtick. Like they just recruit you by offering you cans of Fresca, and it's like amazing, so funny. Homelander's son here at the end of the season ends up killing Stormfront, and in the process actually kills his own mother while Billy Butcher is there, and of course that doesn't really go over well because he thought his wife was dead, finds her, is about to be reunited with her, just to have the freaking offspring of Homelander kill her, which is just a big rip. But the little boy ends up deciding to go with Billy because Billy promises Becca in her dying breath that he would help raise and protect little Homelander so he doesn't turn out like big Homelander. The little boy ends up, after being saved from Homelander by Maeve, shout out. The little boy is taken by the CIA to be, safe housed from Vought and Homelander. And we get like this new storyline kind of unfolding throughout the season of a Congresswoman, Victoria Newman, and it turns out that she actually is also a soup, and throughout the entire season she's just like exploding people's heads. And Huey ends up getting a job working for Victoria Newman on her campaign trail, and that is where season 2 ends. And here we are, season 3. Did I miss any like big beats there?
No, I think it's main beats.
Okay.
And generally, Homelander is losing his mind.
Very much so. Homelander does a lot of wacky things. Turns out Homelander, has some serious mommy issues because, well, he didn't have one, and he found out that basically he was created in a lab, and that just sends him off the deep end, spiraling downward and downward. And it's, you never want to have like the world's most powerful superhero, spiral out of control. That never ends well.
Superman.
Especially when he's already a sociopath.
Yeah, Homelander and Billy Butcher, they're both New Zealand actors, I see here. And they're also in their late 40s. I would not guess that by the show.
No.
Billy Butcher is 49 years old.
Wow, 49.
And okay. Anthony Starr, who plays Homelander, he is 46.
He's great in this show.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Like they both are phenomenal, but Homelander, like he crushes it.
Yeah.
Carl Urban, of course, plays Billy Butcher, the one and only.
Who's Soldier Boy in the show? I mean, it's Jensen Ackles, but
he is a new character that is like the Captain America of this world.
Yeah. I saw that in the trailer. Okay, he's new. Okay, I was wondering.
Yeah.
Google just says the boys cast, and they're listing them out, so it must be they just have the most up to date cast.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like the spinoff here of basically, I mean, Soldier Boy is kind of a spinoff of Captain America, who's a Marvel character, but like most of these are DC characters, like just spoofs and parodies of DC characters, which is funny because I want to say this was like a Vertigo release for the comic, which is like a subsidiary of DC. So I think that's like hilarious. Let me look and see.
I mean that it's not Captain America that does that, but it's the Winter Soldier who does like the shield smash thing that you see in the trailer. Like, doesn't the Winter Soldier do a very similar act, or am I thinking of the from Falcon and Winter Soldier, the kind of the would be replacement for Captain America that went south? What's he like, the agent?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about, and he has like a very common name, and I can't think of it at all. But clarification, the comic series was published by Wildstorm, who was a part of DC Comics. So I always found that funny that they're making all these parodies of very popular DC heroes. You have Maeve, who is a parody of Wonder Woman, Black Noir, which is a parody of Batman, The Deep, who is Aquaman, A-Train is the Flash, Homelander, of course, is Superman, and then we got Soldier Boy, who is now, for lack of better terms, he's a spoof of Captain America.
U.S. agent. That's who I was thinking of.
Yes, U.S. agent. And what's the character's name? It's like John something, right?
Yeah.
In a scene with the Deep, when he's first kind of joining the cult, there's a superhero introduced called like Hawk or whatever, that is very much a ripoff or a parody of either Green Arrow or Hawkeye, or the two of them combined, which is really funny. It's just, I love the humor. It's great.
I love that A-Train is like, because like the Flash is super smart and kind of more nimble. He's not like a brute, whereas A-Train's kind of like a football player that's just like
straight up jock who got like the Speed Force.
Right.
Yeah.
So instead of being like a hyper nerd, and that's just like fast, he's a jock that's just lightning fast.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like clumsy with it because he blew through Huey's girlfriend.
Well, that, I think he was like, I forget what was going on. I think he was like high on something, and like he was doing something with the compound V and was like in a reckless hurry and just annihilated poor Robin. But yeah, that is funny. It's great that A-Train is definitely a jock, and then and the counterpart, the Flash, he's like a forensic scientist, like super smart, but also got blessed with the Speed Force in a terrible crime lab accident. But I do love the kind of like the A-Train story arc where he's like kind of losing his speed. So his whole thing, like why he's so addicted to the compound V, is he's trying to like maintain his speed so he doesn't get kicked off the 7. Because he's not fast enough.
Because wasn't there another character that was like faster than
him? Yeah. I can't remember what his name is, but they like have a race, and
they all have pretty good sub arcs, which is nice.
Yeah. The Deep is one of my favorites. Like he starts off absolutely disgusting and like grotesque and just awful, but ends up being like the funniest character on the show, I would say. And like his whole arc is just hysterical. Tristan, exactly, man. A-Train, the drug user. But yeah, that brings us up here to season 3, and let's slap the trailer up and watch the trailer of season 3. And then we can, hopefully Jordan will be joining us, and we can get into, what we're looking forward to, what we think might be happening here, as I frantically get my screen ready. Here we go. All right. Let's react to the trailer.
So, the Let me say it again, Cam. Maybe a superhero, but I'm also just a man who fell in love with the wrong woman. Just a man who fell for the wrong woman.
I love this bit.
But out of crisis comes change. Out of crisis comes change. So I spent the last year really slowing down and reconnecting with myself. And I am very excited for everyone to meet the real me.
There's something wrong with Homelander.
This really looks like a psycho.
There's something broken. He's lost his fucking mind.
Love, mommy, daddy, and Abu. Hey, oh.
We've been on the straight and narrow all year. No killing soups, no drinking. Even follow Hugh Campbell's orders without strangling him.
Now you're just being cruel.
Or maybe you're not such an asshole.
People have superpowers. But real power isn't this. It's the ability to bend the world to your will.
The gloves are off. Thought we could fight Vought the right way, but we can't. It's all rigged. We have to do it your way.
We're all we've got. It's up to us. I think I have something. Maybe we can use it to blow Homelander's fucking brains out.
What's this?
Makes you a soup for 24 hours. You're gonna need it.
The whole point of what we do is that no one should have that kind of power. For once, I'll level the fucking playing field.
I show people the real me. I mean, they fucking love me. Fuck.
Nice.
Christ, Soldier Boy.
Moff Gideon always playing like the man behind the curtain
Yeah, exactly.
role.
Oh man, so much to unpack there. Let's
Homelander's so good.
I'm gonna put this back up here. I love this. The damage control from being with Stormfront once it's like released that she's like straight up Nazi. Like
Oh yeah, there's that little sub arc too, where she comes into play.
Hey, what's up, Smokey? How you doing,
Smokey.
dude? Miss you. Thanks for tuning in. He says can't wait for the R-rated Captain America. Exactly. He definitely has the let's see, where is he on here?
Over halfway, a little bit.
The shield he has here. It's very Wakandan Captain America shield. You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of like a Uruk-hai shield too from Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings. It's got like the 2 points on the bottom.
Yes. But
Can't
yeah,
believe that's Jensen Ackles.
yeah, I know, right? This is very interesting. This little story arc that we're getting here with Butcher, taking some Compound V and becoming a soup himself, the very thing he detests and fights, to defeat. That's like a big, I think, a big storyline that plays out in the comics. Honestly, I know you're not much of a comic guy. Is that safe to say?
Safe to say. I don't think I've ever actually read a comic book.
Yeah. I've
I just don't
read
know where to get them.
Maybe the first trade of this. I don't recall. It was good. Again, like in Garth Ennis style, very like 0 to 100 within like the first 2 pages. But yeah, this Butcher superhero arc is a thing, and then there's a an arc called Herogasm
Yes.
that involves Soldier Boy that they are doing in an episode here.
Oh,
which
okay.
sounds as insane as it looks.
I remember reading about that. That was like last year when those articles were coming out that they confirmed that was going to be a thing brought over from the comics.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see.
I didn't know it involved Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
I figured it'd be like a Homelander thing.
Oh, I'm sure.
Or a Storm thing. Or all of them.
Man, so there's Soldier Boy right there, beard and all.
That's when he first breaks out.
Look at that, damage that building. So is there anything in particular you're kind of looking forward to seeing play out here, or that caught your fancy during the trailer?
Frenchie was in there when Soldier Boy woke up. That was interesting. And he almost got like nuked.
Yeah. I love Frenchie.
Frenchie's
such a great character.
I think that was the girl and Frenchie.
Yeah. Speaking of like love stories, they have quite a little relationship in the making that we see play out over the first 2 seasons.
He just wants to take care of her.
Yeah, so I
Has she ever spoken? I don't remember.
Yeah, she starts to talk there towards the end of season 2.
Yeah.
There was one part here where Billy's right here, where he's talking to his old
his son.
Yeah, but this lady,
yeah.
The former CIA agent that Lamplighter like killed all of her kids and stuff. She says something about taking orders from Huey, like, and then we see Huey like in a suit and stuff. Like,
well, he's working for the campaign, but I wonder if he doesn't get pulled in and recruited by the CIA, because maybe he might get on to what's going on in campaign. So it looks like he starts working for the FBI, or the
Federal Bureau of Superhuman Affairs, the FBSA. Yes. Smokey, if you're still there, how do you feel about the boys? What are you waiting to see here in season 3, besides the R-rated Captain America? I'm interested to see what happens between Billy and the kid. I don't remember if the child's named in season 2.
He's named because Billy always references him. Ryan Butcher.
Ryan. Okay, I'm interested to see Billy and Ryan and how that plays out, because we all know that Billy, he already detests soups.
But he is one.
But his the bane of his existence is Homelander, and Homelander, this is his seed that, was born of his wife, who was also killed by Ryan. It's just like there's so many things stacked against Ryan, even though none of it is his fault, of course. So I'm interested to see how that relationship plays out throughout the season. At least here in the trailer, Billy is greeted by a hug, with Ryan running up to him. So
yeah, actually, there's that whole forest scene in the finale of season 2 with Stormfront.
Yeah,
Homelander shows up. Like, that kid's gone through some stuff already.
Yeah, exactly. Like, not only does he have like the crazy like weird mental abuse that he experiences from Homelander in season 2, where he's like trying to get him to I don't know, activate his superpowers.
Like throw him off the roof, or
yeah.
Smack the ground.
They're just standing there, he pushes him off and he doesn't fly and he just falls to the ground. Oh yes. So like on top of all that, he murders Stormfront, which would be traumatic enough. But in the process also murders his own mother, which is like extra super traumatic. I don't know. There's just this kid. He's got a lot working against him.
I'm excited that they're releasing 3 episodes tomorrow at once, and then they will be weekly for the next 5 for a total of 8. So
Okay.
I like the 3
that's
episode
almost-
release.
That's almost half the season.
Yeah, it's almost half, and I kind of like that method. We're watching Candy right now on Hulu, and they did something weird where they released like one a day for 3 days. So for 3 days, they did one after another. Then a week later, they did 2 more, one day after another, which is just like the most bizarre release schedule. But I like it because you think you're caught up, and they're like, "Oh, there's one more," and it just
Just can't put it down.
I don't like that. I don't like the one a weeks. I like 2 a week, or like a cluster, right? Because then you can kind of chip at them, or you can just like binge them.
Right. So
I
kind
don't
of
like
like you like also like how Arcane did it, where it was like three clusters of releases.
Yeah, that was great. I think that I'll see. I just like the middle ground and everything. I'm just like an extreme centrist. But instead of releasing an episode a week, or instead of releasing them all at once, give me like 3 equal parts, or cluster it.
Yeah. I would say I mean, we've had this discussion before, but I think even like at a time like this where there's so much stuff being available to watch, man, now that I'm in the middle of saying this, I don't know, I might have just talked myself out of it. But I want to say, with so many options at the moment, I kind of like the one a week, because then you can just be like, all right, Friday, I'm going to watch the 1 episode of The Boys. That's all I have to watch to be caught up. And then, Sunday night, the new episode of Candy comes out. I just got to watch that one. And then Wednesday, the new episode of Obi-Wan. I can just watch that one, and I can stay current like that. Unless you get, behind, then you're like eternally behind.
The one thing I don't like about the one a week is, like, once I get in a groove, I like, because like we get in grooves where we watch not 1 episode, but like 2 episodes. Like, you want to kind of like cruise through something and then come back to it later. So the problem I have with one a week is that I will forget about it, and then before I know it, like, the whole series is done, and then it's a binge thing. So I don't like it because I'm just not like on that routine of like, this is what I do every day of the week. It's kind of like I want to randomly remember, like, hey, I need to watch The Boys. Oh, look, I got 3 episodes I can just like watch, and maybe I watch all those in like an evening. You know what I mean? It's just kind of, I like the cluster idea that they're kind of doing lately with some of these shows, especially when they like premiere them. Gives you a head start, because maybe I do want to watch 2 episodes and get like a good foundation in the show.
It like re-hooks you.
Yeah, it re-hooks me, and if it's just 1 a week, like you give me the first one, I mean, it might not stick right away. But if you give me 3 at a time, and maybe that's what they're doing, they found that out, because like if they give you 3, you're more likely to get hooked in, and then you'll return every week there forward.
Yeah, I will say, like, for content purposes, I'm a big fan of the once a week, because like then we can do companion series and like
true,
just have an
that
episode
really breaks
per
our
episode. And like, not have like 3.5 hour marathons where we're trying to cover an entire season of a show. Though I do like the Game of Thrones approach we're doing. It's been a fun learning experience, but in terms of being able to like talk about a show, like we've talked about before, you don't have to worry about spoiling anything if someone might have, not be as far ahead as you are. And it just gives you, those 7 days to, return to the word of the night, marinate on the episode, and like, dive deep into it, try to analyze things, really poke around, try to find all of the little details and things like that, which is fun. But I'm also kind of with you where like if it's something that I really enjoy, I'm like, oh man, I really wish there was another episode.
Yeah, and I would say like AAA type stuff like Star Wars, Marvel, they can afford to do one a week because the people that are going to watch them are going to watch them.
Yeah.
And they look forward to them because, for better or worse, like when the new Star Wars show is out, that is part of my week. Like that is the thing I do make part of my week. So like Wednesdays or whatever day it might be, I'm going to watch Obi-Wan Kenobi. There's just no way around it. Like that is you might as well make it an event on my calendar. Whereas, the boys might not get that. That might be something I'd rather just save and binge at some point in time or come back to. Same thing with Stranger Things. I'm not going to I mean, for some people they might do that, but for me personally, like there's a certain shows that become part of my weekly to do. And then there's other ones that are just kind of out there in the ether for me to watch whenever I feel the need to.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
no, I mean, those are great points. And I really think that there are arguments for both sides for sure, and pros and cons for both sides.
Well, it kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier. Is like there's just so much variety now. Like even like there's tons of shows to watch, but there's even tons of different styles of shows to watch, and even how they're released. Like it's a really interesting time, especially like kind of like post-pandemic here, where all the studios are kind of fully back in motion, and they've also had the pandemic to like recalibrate how things are done, and even the way we watch media now has changed a lot. So especially this year, I feel like it's a big testing ground, where like last year was a pretty big testing ground, but everyone was still kind of hesitant and playing it safe. But now it's just like spilling everywhere. And before you know, you're like, well, holy crap, they released 3 episodes all at once. Or if you look at the dates, you're like, wow, they're doing some weird stuff. Because we were like, Aaron was like, yeah, it's a weekly release on Candy. I'm like, we definitely have another episode to watch. And because they just released 2 on us like yesterday and today. So that's new.
Yeah. I want to say too, like, I feel like Arcane was the first one of the non like everything being released at once show they were the first one to land somewhere in the middle of like everything being released at once and being released weekly. I think there are plenty of shows that did the like, here are 2 episodes on the premiere, right?
Right.
But
they
like
were definitely the first to be like, here are 3 parts, 3 episode parts.
Yeah. Which was really interesting. At first I was kind of like annoyed, but then I was like, oh, this is actually kind of cool.
Well,
And
there's
like
a time
makes
jump
sense.
on it too.
Yeah, like it makes sense story-wise with what they were trying to do conceptually. Plus, it was just kind of a cool release schedule.
Oh, I need to rewatch that.
I know, dude, it's so good. So we're talking, this is a Prime original, of course. And I've been sitting here trying to just find an easy list of Prime original series because I feel like Prime's kind of stepping their game up a little bit lately. But it's very hard to find a list. Just a regular old list. That's all I want. Just something simple. Yeah. I'm striking out and I don't want to be distracted, so I'm gonna stop searching.
I found a list.
Okay. Let's read them off. I also am a boomer, so
yeah.
That could explain a lot.
So let's see here. We are on. I'm just trying to verify that this is in fact true. I'm hesitant. Amazon original series, movies and TVs. Online shopping for. Hold on.
We got. Well, I know we have The Boys, which is a great show. The Marvelous Miss Maisel. I haven't watched, but my wife and her friends watch it and say it's amazing. It's pretty well critically acclaimed, highly reviewed show. We have one of our favorites, Carnival Row, which hopefully will be getting a second season at some point. What I've seen of Outer Ranges so far, or Outer Range, it's a really interesting show that like has really great production value and actually like a pretty, star-studded cast as well.
I got the list.
You got it? Okay, let's go.
From oldest to newest, or
whatever order you would like, list keeper.
So I can go through this. The first one was February 2015. And this was Bosch. And this, granted, this is drama series.
Yeah.
Bosch, Sneaky Pete, which I've seen. I recommend that. That came out in 2015. Hand of God.
Seen at least the first season.
Psychological thriller. There's 2 seasons.
Yeah, I've seen the first. It was pretty good. Nothing to like. It wasn't like, oh my god, this is the most amazing show ever. But it was pretty good.
Patriot. It's a crime drama. 2 seasons. Z, The Beginning of Everything. I see that on there all the time. Good Girls Revolt. Both of those past 2 ones were hysterical period dramas. The Man in High Castle. I've seen that. Great.
Heard a lot of good things about it.
Me and Cody have seen that.
Yes.
Mad Dogs.
I believe that was talked about on our very first episode.
Yes. Yeah. That was, the first, definitely within the first 3 episodes because Cody was on this. Mad Dogs. The Last Tycoon. Historical period drama. Goliath. Lore.
Gino. You remember Gino? I know you haven't worked for PLM in a while. I didn't know if that name still stuck in there. He loves Goliath.
Yeah. There's 4 seasons of that. It's ended though. So far, everything I've said has ended.
Okay.
Jack Ryan.
I think our friend Bim loves that show.
2 seasons, and it's renewed for 3 and 4. Originally come out in 2018, so it looks like it's on a pandemic hiatus.
That's our own John Krasinski.
Yes, sir. Of the Showboys.
Yeah, that's right. We claimed him.
The Romanoffs is an anthology. 1 season ended. Homecoming, psychological thriller.
Show.
Really?
Love
Never heard you
show.
mention it.
Me and Cody love that show. I think
you guys like the psychological thrillers.
That's a good one. That's a Sam Esmail.
Okay.
Chef's Kiss. Mr. Robot. Good show.
Okay. Hannah, action, 3 seasons ended. Too Old to Die Young, 1 season ended. We're now in 2019. The Boys.
There we go. Great show.
2019. It came out.
I feel like they really like amped up like the production value of their original series with The Boys.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, it's clean from the get-go. I mean, you have to do it to pull off the wacky stuff they do.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be good if it wasn't high production value because they're literally like blowing people apart.
Yeah.
And
lots of exploding human beings.
Yeah. You have to do that well these days. Otherwise it looks like a 1980s like horror film.
Right.
To The Boys, Carnival Row.
Great show.
1 season. It just is listed as renewed.
I feel like we're not going to get season 2 for a while. It's already been a while.
Yes, that came out February 2020, right before the end.
Resurgence of Orlando Bloom's career.
I know. I think he had a kid. Katy Perry's pretty busy. I think he's just kind of like chilling. He hasn't been doing anything else. He hasn't been doing anything else, so I'm not mad at him. It's when you do things like Donald Glover, where you're like, I really want this, but you're doing 10 other things, which is great. But
none of them come out.
Yeah. Be less busy.
Yes.
The Hunters.
Haven't.
Tales from the Loop.
I've caught a few episodes. It's okay.
Alex Rider. 2 seasons pending. Spy thriller. Utopia.
Heard it's great.
The Wilds.
Canceled after one season.
Yep. The Wilds, 2 seasons pending. Young adult drama. Them, anthology horror drama, 1 season renewed. We're in 2021 now.
Kind of want to check out Them. Looks interesting.
Them, Those, They.
Yeah.
The Underground Railroad.
The prequel to Us.
Yeah. Them. Miniseries, Underground Railroad. Solos. Science fiction anthology. Ended 1 season. RIP. Panic. Young adult drama. 1 season. Ended. RIP. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Young adult horror.
Yeah,
1
based
season.
off the
Ended. RIP.
horror franchise. Remember those from back in the day?
I do not.
You don't remember I Know What You Did Last Summer? The like Scream-esque horror movies from like the early 2000s?
No.
Maybe late 90s?
Nope.
I think Jennifer Love Hewitt and like that normal crew.
I wasn't
Let me check it out here.
wasn't big in-
1997.
Whoa. Yeah, that's before my like.
It did have Jennifer Love Hewitt. I was right with that. Sarah Michelle Gellar, Ryan Phillippe, Freddie Prinze Jr. You know, the crew.
You got to realize I was very sheltered up until the age of like 12. So all the way up until like 1993, I like lived in a cabin in the woods, 11 style.
Just feeding you Egos and
like,
giving you Legos.
no, yeah, like yeah, definitely. Like I did not go places or like was very cultured. I didn't listen to music.
Just ate Egos and played Legos.
Yep, Egos and Legos.
Sarah Michelle Gellar, man, she was in everything in the late 90s, early 2000s. Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
Buffy.
Cruel Intentions, Scooby-Doo, The Grudge.
My socialization was 1 hour on the school bus, twice a day.
Spend an hour on the bus?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, jeez. Sarah Michelle Gellar also in Scream 2. Forgot about that. And while we're on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, since it was mentioned, the movie is so good. It was a staple of my young childhood. Great movie. Real funny.
My best friend was a big fan.
Yeah. I remember there's one scene of a vampire being staked and his death, and he's just like, and he's like sliding down the wall, like being way like overly dramatic. Sticks out. Like that's all I think of when I think of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
And it's really good.
Oh, it's so good. And I wonder. I don't think it can be that guy because he died in the movie, I believe. But a vampire from that movie is on the Vampiric Council in What We Do in the Shadows. If you made it to that, did you make it to that episode in that series? Where like Nandor and Colin Robinson and Nadja and Laszlo, they get brought before the Vampiric Council.
Yeah.
And like it's
He's one of them.
Just like all of those famous vampires. Those are all vampires from other vampire movie franchises played by the actors and actresses that played said vampires.
That's cool.
So it's like that on its like just on itself is hilarious. But yeah, one of the vampires was from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You also got Wesley Snipes as Blade. You got
he was in there.
Yeah, he connects via Skype or whatever on the laptop, and he's got like a terrible internet connection. Dude, I love that show so much. It is so good. Anyways, yeah, see, Deflated Fro knows what's up. What We Do in the Shadows, amazing show. Anyways, continue with your list. We got majorly sidetracked. I Know What You Did Last Summer was the last one.
The Wheel of Time.
It was above average.
Renewed. Reacher
It's
renewed.
I've heard things about it. I don't know if I would particularly like it.
Outer Range mystery thriller
Good.
pending.
Good show. Better get that renewed.
Night Sky pending. Science fiction drama. And there are 3 that are awaiting release. The Summer I Turned Pretty.
Never heard of it.
The Terminal List. And The Lord of the Rings, Power of the Rings. Or The Rings of Power.
Can't wait for that one.
That one's going to get canned. Like after one season.
One season?
How half a B, a whole B. Just canned.
Hey, speaking of bees, bro. LeBron James, now a billionaire. Just
Really?
throw that out there. Yes.
How did he do that?
First player in the history of the NBA to be a billionaire.
MJ didn't become a B? He didn't
I
make a
think
B?
so.
Dang. That don't seem right.
Yeah.
Inflation.
I want to, and there's so many streaming services cropping up these days that like Prime really, it doesn't have a choice but to like step up if they want to stay in contention of that top 3.
Yeah. I mean, they're, for better or worse, their Prime original series is doing better than their gaming division, but I still feel like
our podcast is doing better than their game studio.
Even though it's doing better, I feel like it's still like has that same sense about. I mean, they're more committed to it, but like I don't think they're ever gonna. I don't know. Like, what would it take for them to just be like, all right, we're done with Amazon Prime originals because we can't do it. Like they had a decent run, but their quantity is on par with something of much higher quality. So their quality isn't where it is for the quantity they have.
Yeah.
So if you're going to release just like like 5 things a year, it needs to be like top notch.
Yeah. Unlike Netflix that releases 5 things every 2 hours.
Correct. So for some of those to be duds, but that's the problem. Most of them kind of aren't.
Right. And another thing I noticed as you're reading through your list is very short lifespans.
Yeah.
And there were a couple that had like 4 or 5 seasons, but most of them were like 1-2 seasons.
The crazy thing is Bosch, the first one they had 7 seasons. That's the highest.
Dang.
Couple 2 4 seasons. A few 3 seasons. 3 seasons for Sneaky Pete, Hannah, and The Boys.
Sounds like
I just feel like okay.
Band.
Lord of the Rings. So much money.
Yeah.
So much money. We haven't talked about how much money that is in a while. But if that doesn't do well, they might shut it down. I don't know. That isn't going to look good.
I feel like they can't with the amount of money they've spent on that series. Like
they bought the television rights for $250 million, making a 5-season production commitment worth $1 billion.
Yeah, it's too much money for them to.
I mean, I guess there's 5 seasons coming out.
Yeah, we'll at least have Prime Video until the end of the Lord of the Rings series. That's a guarantee. But hey,
the filming for the second season is beginning mid-2022.
Yeah,
so they're committed.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Jordan probably isn't gonna make it tonight. And up to this point, we've just been kind of trying to kill time awaiting his arrival. So let's get back topic on hand and talk about season 3 of The Boys here for a little bit before we head off. But what arc in the 7 are you looking forward to most? I believe only Translucent is dead, right? Like Black Noir, he had his like peanut allergy like episode, but I believe we saw him in the trailer. So I would say he's not dead, but he hasn't really had much of an arc. His
Right.
character is kind of hilarious, though. He doesn't say anything,
He's
but
just kind of like the help
he,
to
he,
the
he
Homelander.
yeah, he's just like a terrifying like menace enforcer, but like also finds himself in like oddly funny situations, and then never speaking just like makes it even funnier.
Mm-hmm.
But so his arc, kind of non-existent. But we have A-Train, who was struggling with his loss of speed, gets removed from the Seven due to Stormfront because she is a racist and hates black people. So he kind of like gets shipped off. He finds himself in Sandusky after recovering from his heart attack, his Compound V induced heart attack. He actually is one that helped Starlight and Huey get the information in the documents on Compound V to leak to the media. So he has like a little turn for the good guys there for a second, only because he hates Stormfront as much as the boys do. But he finds himself in Sandusky with the Deep, works his way through the Church of the Collective, and then actually gets invited back to the Seven, whereas the Deep is still stuck in Sandusky in this cult. So I'm interested to see what happens with A-Train. Like, how long does he stay on the Seven? Does his speed continue to decline? Since he already had a slight change of heart to help the boys, will that continue or grow? Do the boys maybe have a second Soup in their pocket inside the Seven along with Starlight? I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I got Soups in my cupboard.
I don't have any Soups. I'm not a fan of. Actually, that's not true. I am a fan of Soups, but we don't have any Soups.
You were about to like say on record that you don't like Soup.
Not
like what
I
is
didn't like, but I just wasn't a fan.
Not
but
a fan
I am
of
a
Soup.
fan. I'm
Okay.
a fan. I don't own any Soups at the moment. Also, that's a really weird way of saying you have food. I don't own any pepperoni at the moment.
No Soups on hand.
Yeah.
The Deep is funny. I enjoy his arcs, but I don't particularly I'm not looking forward to that one. I enjoy his arcs though. They're funny.
Yeah, I really want to see what plays out with this Church of the Collective and like how
That is
big of a
true.
role that superhero cult plays in the larger scheme of things. What somebody goes and talks to the leader of this cult. I don't remember who. Is it somebody from Vought? Is it
Deep?
Homelander? Is it
they
was
met
it
with the Deep.
Stillwell?
Didn't they meet with the Deep and then he tipped someone off to it?
I mean, it's been 2 years.
Yeah.
But I feel like they have maybe more of an important role to play in the show than people may suspect at this point.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like Homelander's arc is just like nutty. I really
literally the last scene of him in season 2. It's pretty nutty.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, I really like Starlight's little adventure in all this. She just had, and like, her whole character arc was like, she was innocent, naive to like how things were. She just wanted to like help people. And then like, she's kind of like bullied or like abused or was like pushed around by them and just not taken seriously. But she really kind of like changes her attitude and is like, screw this. And like, she insists she's going to be there and on this team, whether they like it or not. So,
and she kind of puts her foot down to all the bullcrap.
Right, exactly. So, in like Homelander, she like exerts her will around Homelander, but like make sure like he also doesn't just like blow her in half because he totally will. So she kind of has to like navigate that, her relationship with Huey.
Yes.
Huey's just kind of like running around. His arc's interesting, but like Huey's Huey.
Yeah.
Just like kind of how Butcher's Butcher. Starlight to me is kind of like the main thread in a lot of things.
Yeah, she connects the two like interweaving major arcs together.
Yeah. And she's kind of like she's undercover, but she's also like she gets mad at everyone because everyone kind of sucks. Like even Huey like pisses her off at one point.
Yeah.
So really kind of
Huey's gonna Hugh,
Yeah, Huey's gonna Hugh, and I liked the whole arc of her even rejecting her mother.
Oh yeah.
In that whole situation, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, when she finds out that her superpowers were not like a gift from God or like natural. She finds out that babies she was given the compound.
Yeah, and her mom is just like that stereotypical like whacked out religious nut job. She's just like, it's like this is it.
Yeah,
like
she reminds me of like a dance mom.
Right, exactly.
Like she just she's the kind of mom putting her kid in her like 5-year-old in beauty pageants and like dolling her all up and prancing her around at like some prized horse or something. The Starlight definitely biggest growth so far in the 2 seasons character wise.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like Huey kind of like goes all over the place, but he's still very much Huey.
Yep.
Like he loses his shit at times, and he's definitely grown up a lot, right? Because he's actually functioning. He's not just like hanging out with like Butcher.
Yeah, he's not just being a big sad boy,
being a big goon with Butcher under the radar. Like he's very much on the radar.
Yeah.
But Butcher still remains off the radar.
Yeah. Yeah. Starlight's a really good character.
A-Train though, I do like A-Train.
Yeah. He's not like necessarily my favorite. But his character is good, and I'm definitely want to see where Homelander goes in this spiral, because it by all accounts it looks like it's not improving. it's actually getting worse. So that will be interesting to see what kind of stuff he gets into as he further unhinges. Excuse me. I'm also like I said, interested in Billy and Ryan Butcher. I just love Billy Butcher as a character. Like one of my favorite characters of any show, I think. And a lot of that I believe has to do with Carl Urban.
He has that not related to Keith Urban at all.
Yeah, sadly. Or not sadly, I don't know.
I mean, I could see it. I looked it up. I clicked. I was waiting to see like brother of.
Yeah. Oh, it's a very unique last name.
Yeah, but that was like from New Zealand. Keith Urban isn't from New Zealand. If he was, that would be funny.
Yes.
But Billy has the effect of Ozark Girl.
Wendy Bird?
Mm-mm.
Helen?
No, the redneck.
Oh, Ruth?
Ruth. Like, because she has the funniest, like, bits in terms of, like, the words she uses to describe and say things.
Yeah.
She's like, just, like, the elegant use of, like, the same F word in succession. He has the same effect because, like, he shows up in a scene and then he just, like, describes or like tells someone something in the most like ridiculous way.
Yeah, and I don't think he like can go a sentence without cursing. It's great. Also great use of words too, like diabolical. Brought it back. I love using diabolical.
Simply diabolical.
Great character.
And what he's describing is diabolical. You're like, yeah, really that's a really good word.
Yes. Interested to see any sort of resolution with Mother's Milk. like his internal struggle with being a member of the boys, and like, his family's growing. We saw, his daughter's 10th birthday party, I think, in the trailer. So like, being very torn and conflicted with feeling like, he needs to help Billy with this, crusade against the Supes, but also remembering that he does have a family that he very much loves. And, this crusade takes him away from that.
And his daughter's like dressed up as Starlight.
Yeah. Yeah. The conflict there for his internal hatred of Supes, and then his daughter idolizes them.
Yeah, because I think in the trailer he was saying like people love like superhumans or superpowers.
Yep.
Poor guy.
Of course, Frenchie. He's one of those. I think I'm going to coin a new term for me. Sleeper character. I think every show that I watch has that one character that's, flies under the radar, but really steals every scene that they're in.
Yeah.
Frenchie is the sleeper character here in The Boys, I think.
His first like few episodes, like when they're introing his character, were great because he was just kind of like the sleazeball like ordnance dealer.
Yeah.
But then like his arc is cool because I mean he has a soft side, and
yeah,
he's
like a
got these
very soft side.
yeah, and he's got these like these complex relationships with the women in his life, whether it's the soup girl who like doesn't talk, she's like crazy, and he's just like trying to bridge this connection to help her. Then there's his actual girlfriend or old girlfriend, where it's just like a working relationship. Like they just have a mutual understanding. So I just think those are always really cool when they explore those kind of concepts.
I gotta find the name of the girl because she does have a Kimiko is the name of the girl. Soup.
Kimiko, yeah.
Oh hey, you don't know this because Black Noir is always in costume, but he is in fact played by a black actor. Don't know if that's important to anyone, but his IMDb listing is right next to Kimiko. Thought that was interesting. Another character that has an wow. Okay. Anthony Starr's IMDb picture like does not look anything like how he looks as Homelander.
No, not
completely unrecognizable. Holy cow, dude.
That's the 49-year-old version of himself.
That's crazy, dude. And what is Carl Urban? It's like a rifle wielding cowboy on IMDb right now. But anyways, I'm also intrigued by Queen Maeve's storyline because her arc kind of got a little messy of sorts there in season 2, where you learn about her former relationship with her girlfriend and her facade of a relationship with Homelander as like the faces of the Seven, kind of like Superman and Wonder Woman. Homelander finding out about this girlfriend and kind of blackmailing Maeve. That whole storyline was crazy. Her girlfriend, like, kind of feeling betrayed and disappointed and burnt by Maeve, obviously, in choosing the Seven and Homelander over the relationship. But then her kind of like turn from being, I guess, disinterested in the larger arc and just like not caring about anything to eventually, rescuing Billy and Ryan from Homelander at the end of season 2 there in the woods. It's a very interesting turn for her character, and I really want to see how the repercussions of that play out as she continues to be a member of the Seven and has to deal with Homelander.
Yeah, she's just because of her tenure in relation to Homelander, she's involved in a lot of different things that are going on. Especially when she was like just like drinking or whatever, when she was like going through a little crisis. And
Yeah.
her bits with Starlight were always good. You know, I'm
Mhm.
looking, and I just got sidetracked because like Carl Urban here, old butcher, he was Aramir in Lord of the Rings. He's also like one of the crew members in Star Trek. Like he's just kind of all over the place.
Yeah,
too.
he's also a character in Thor.
Yep. Scrooge.
Scrooge. He's also an uncredited stormtrooper in Rise of the Skywalker.
Oh, there's a lot of those snuck in there.
Yeah,
but he's credited. He's an uncredited credited.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Because
yes.
Daniel Craig was one too.
Was he?
He was
Like
the one
how?
that he was in The Force Awakens, I'm pretty sure, because he was one of the ones that Rey like force tricked in the like torture chamber to like get her out. That was Daniel Craig.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you think that like because these are big pricey actors, right? Do you think they are just like, please just let me be in a Star Wars movie. I'll do it for free.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. Star Wars is kind of one of those things like, hey, we need there's 100 stormtroopers on
we need
set.
a body.
We just need a body in here, and you can say you're in a Star Wars movie. Cool.
Yeah. And they can say Daniel Craig was a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
He was also in Riddick.
Yep. Yeah.
Also, I think a very overlooked movie, Judge Dredd. That was a fun little flick. He is Judge Dredd. Yeah, he gets around, to say the least.
He's kind of Judge Dredd in The Boys.
Yeah, kind of. I want to rewatch Judge Dredd. That was fun little flick there. Yeah, there's also, they really put an emphasis on the soups and being used in the military.
Yeah.
Because we have, they're basically giving terrorists the Compound V to kind of have an excuse for needing superheroes in the military to fight these supervillains. So excited to see how that plays out. And of course, I think the biggest cliffhanger is the Victoria Newman like head exploding soup that now Huey is going to like work for. Right? She's out there just exploding the heads of like everyone. So is she good? Is she bad? Like, what are her motives? Why is she just popping heads? Like, what's going on there?
She's a creep.
Yeah.
Creepy soup doing creepy things.
Yeah, man, there's a lot I'm looking forward to, and I'm glad that there are 3 episodes. That'll be fun.
See?
No.
You like that?
I do.
The clustered method.
Yeah.
Then they're gonna slow play you for 5 weeks.
That's all right. I'm cool with that.
And give you a 4-hour finale.
This isn't Stranger Things, bro.
Oh yeah.
I can't believe that. All right, can we just have this discussion here? They should have just did all the episodes up until the last 3 of part 2.
Yep.
As the season. Released the last 3 episodes because they're already movie length. Release them as theatrical releases, a movie trilogy there to be season 4 part 2 technically. And then they could just finish up the series with season 5. Now, this wouldn't be like completely like a completely new thing for Netflix to do because they have actually released Netflix original films in theaters for short runs, one of which I went and saw in theater. That would be Army of the Dead. So they have actually made Netflix originals and put them in the theater. But, here at Showboys, Nick and I like to think we're very forward thinking when it comes to the use of shows and movies and everything in between to tell your story. So Netflix, Duffer Brothers, if you're out there listening to this, you want to hire us to conceptualize, your season 5, your final season, and how you want to do that, we're free. We're not free of cost. We're free time-wise to come help you guys for a nominal fee. We will help you plan out your series/movie trilogy. You're welcome.
I mean, look at this. You could have had a 6-episode season, not unheard of, stacked already, right? All
and
over
that's
an hour.
that's probably close to 8 hours of episodes. Or no,
yeah,
it's 7 hours. 7 hours of episodes.
Yeah, that's fine, right? Especially for a part 1. Or just
Yeah.
make that the season. And then, like you said, 3 movies.
Bam, bam, bam. There you go. Stranger
Come on.
Things trilogy
Yeah, I mean,
leads right up into the season 5, the 5th and final season.
but now I could see just this 7 episodes in this season, but then make these 2 movies. I don't know,
Yeah.
because this is 4 episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Disguised as 2.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I'm okay with it. I
it's
feel
fine.
like they missed a golden opportunity to do something like really creative and outside of the box.
Yeah, I mean, already this is creative and outside the box. A 7-part over 1 hour part 1, a 7-episode part 1, all of them over an hour, and then a 2-episode part 2, giant episodes, like biggest episodes ever. That's already out of the box. But movie.
Yes.
And put that in theaters.
Yes.
And put a bow tie on it.
Yes. Do what Army of the Dead did. It was in theaters for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then it released on Netflix. Just get that short run.
Yeah.
Maybe make some extra money. Maybe pick up a few new Netflix subscribers.
And I mean, my wife Erin, she was saying, she's like, they look so good. Like the production quality in Stranger Things is just so good. Like everything's crisp, everything's just detail oriented. It's shot very well, right? It would benefit from the option to be able to see it in a theater, especially when you're sitting someone down for 2.5 hours,
right?
At home. Like just put it in theater. Yep. I might go, especially if after watching 8 hours,
and that's not counting the previous 3 seasons you've already invested in.
Yeah. And I mean, this was an entirely different tone because they're older. It's definitely much more scary and disturbing. The first episode, they put hey, we filmed this a year ago. We are sorry about what happened in Texas. That's horrible.
We're
gonna show it anyways. And I can definitely see why it would be disturbing for some people. It's a little unsettling. So that was interesting. They're quick with that little advisory label. But yeah, I mean, a movie like this show especially would benefit from a theater viewing.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Do it. Maybe next Stranger Things series they come out with.
Yeah. Odder Occurrences. It's the follow-up series. Man, that's a bad joke.
Hilarious. I get
apologize.
Well, Jordan, man. Thanks for coming on tonight.
Yeah, man. So I really appreciate that. The insight, the comic expertise we were missing, man. Just really filled those gaps for us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm also curious to see how long this show runs.
What if
I don't think the comic run was incredibly long.
4 seasons and stop. 3's too short. 4's perfect.
Yeah.
5 has to be really well written.
You could squeak out 5 because I'm just here for all the craziness.
That's true.
Moral of the story, though, you should be watching The Boys.
Watch The Boys.
Come on.
Seasons 1 and 2, then watch 3.
Yeah, what are you doing with your life?
Or watch 3 and then go back and watch 1 and 2.
Watch 3 be completely lost and not understand anything that's happening, and then go back, fill in the holes.
And that's what Star Wars did.
That's true. Yeah, man. Second moral of the story: if you like The Boys, go watch the show Preacher. I believe you can watch it on AMC. Fantastic. Hulu. Or yeah, it was originally aired on AMC. But yeah, you're right. I believe it's on Hulu. Another one of those crazy off the wall, like I can't believe this is on TV type shows. And what was shocking about it was kind of the first one on a non HBO type, premium cable channel to kind of just be absolutely bonkers. Anyways, with that being said, I think we're pretty much done here. So, yeah, man, thanks for hanging out and chatting the boys with me.
Yeah, appreciate having you on. Come again. Be here next week. And I guess the moral of the story is like there's an hour for every boy that is on the Showboys podcast.
True. Yeah. So what do we got next week? Back to Game of Thrones.
Back to Game of Thrones, 3. Man. We got a lot to watch by Thursday.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is gonna be nice. I have from Sunday to that's like a week and a half. I've only watched one episode.
Just hit this sprint really hard. Then you'll have a full 2 weeks.
Yeah,
after.
Well, and, we're early tonight. Maybe I'll go watch it with you.
See, go watch an episode.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll be here. Monday, we might be having a multiplayer Monday stream. Nick's going to be sad because I don't think I'm doing Valheim. I think we're going to be doing
I'm going to do Valheim
another game
while you do that game.
So somebody will be there. There may or may not be multiple Showboys streams happening at once. Tune in to that.
Each other.
I'm streaming frequently on Twitch, about to wrap up Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and most likely we'll be beating that this weekend, probably tomorrow night. If not tomorrow night, definitely over the weekend, which means I'll be posting a poll for the next stream game in our Discord, which we have a link in the episode description. Go join the Discord. I'm kind of doing the poll as a courtesy because every time I change games, I let the Discord vote, but I've kind of already had my mind made up, but we'll see if the votes sway my decision. Most likely it's probably going to be Mass Effect 2, but we'll see. Yep. There we go. Look at that fire thumbnail Nick made. It's very great. Go check it out. If you're, interested in checking it out, and want to see what happened up to, where I'm at now, all these videos are over on our Showboys Gaming YouTube page, our YouTube channel. Go subscribe. Chad is pumping out playthroughs. Nick's pumping out, first time tutorials of Old World occasionally. We have some fantastic stream partners: Peace, Love, Ames, BioCiv, Ugly Kid Joe Cross. Go check them out. They're just great streamers, super entertaining. And we'll see you next Thursday for season 3, Game of Thrones.
So excited. So excited.
Just can't hide it. I want.
What was I going to?
You.
I was going to pull up something, but I completely forgot.
Bye.
Bye. Jordan, where are you? I hope Top Gun was so good you watched it twice. It never showed